Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video I am going to be giving you some latest news on Paul Pogba because there is huge developments on Paul Pogba. So according to recent reports, Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola has opened up discussions about Paul Pogba moving to Juventus in the summer transfer window, and these reports are stemming from France. Now, like I've said, Tino, if Paul Pogba does leave Manchester United, I think he will make a return back to Juventus. Now, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, at least in the last couple of years, has been working on his client getting a transfer away from Manchester United completely because, like I mentioned, Mini Raiola's held talks with Juventus and he's also held some talks with Real Madrid. But don't forget, we've been very, very critical of Mini Raiola, reflecting on some of the comments he had said, since the turn of the year. So we have, been very, very critical of Mini Raiola in that. Like I said, I do expect Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United next season. I don't know if he's going to be here for the foreseeable future because, like I said, Paul Pogba has not yet had the chance to play alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. And like I said, I'm very, very excited about Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield because, they would make a fantastic midfield partnership. Obviously, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, you'd have Bruno Fernandes in the number 10, which is his predominant position. And obviously, you'd have Paul Pogba in the number 6, or you'd have Paul Pogba in the number 8 and that. But, we've already said, if we had to sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window, we do want at least £100 million for him. Now, obviously, it confirmed the other week that Juventus can't afford to pay £100 million for Pogba, and they also, can't afford to pay his substantial wages because his wages at Man United are like £300,000 a week. Did confirm the other week that Juventus became the first Italian club to have their own cap salary, and it said they was only willing to offer contracts worth up to £151,000 a week. And like I mentioned, Juventus are willing to include at least one of their players for Paul Pogba so they don't have to pay the £100 million. But swap deals have been on the agenda. There's been a few players from Juventus that have been mentioned who could come to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. There's been talks of Adrian Rabiot. Obviously, there's been talks of Federico Bernardeschi. There's also been talks of Douglas Costa, Milan Panjanic, Aaron Ramsey, also too Matthijs de Ligt was mentioned like a month or so ago. So swap deals have been on the agenda. But like I mentioned, Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in training with Juventus. But the vast majority of his performances in Man United since he rejoined have been, totally comparison. I think the best we saw of Paul Pogba was in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager in that. So if he leaves Man United in the summer transfer window, I think, he will make a return to Juventus. Obviously, like I mentioned, Real Madrid have also been in for him. Don't forget last summer, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with Paul Pogba. But the main explanation why Real Madrid didn't get Paul Pogba last summer was reflecting, on the substantial amount we put on him because we said last summer we wanted £180 million for Pogba and Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. So we was demanding just over double than what we paid from Juventus because we did pay £89 million for the player. It also confirmed the other week, this was stemming from Marca, which is a Spanish newspaper, and they'd said that Real Madrid had dropped their interest in Pogba, due to his wages and that. But, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane, because Paul Pogba's preference last summer was to make a move to Real Madrid because he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave Manchester United and that. Obviously, earlier on this year, Paul Pogba had told his teammates that he wanted to leave the football club and that. But yeah, like I said, in recent weeks, PSG have also been interested in Pogba. I think for PSG to get Pogba, they'd either have to offload Mbappe or Neymar, who had 2 most expensive players in the world. I think also, so yeah. And also, Inter Milan have also been in for Pogba recently. Maybe Antonio Conte is keen on reuniting with him. Like I said, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 of our players because they got Ashley Young offers, Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez. Don't forget Inter Milan have got Mario Cardi out on loan, and they have also got, Ivan Perisic out on loan. And I think Inter Milan are looking to get rid of them on permanent transfers. Barcelona have also been in for Paul Pogba before, but since he rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016, he's had a long-running transfer saga. He really hasn't that. Paul Pogba's got a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it but for a further year. So there you go on that. Like I said, the good news is now regarding Paul Pogba is that he is now back from injury, because Paul Pogba has been stepping up his fitness regime. Obviously, don't forget we returned to training on Wednesday, but a lot of clubs up and down the country returned to training because the Premier League did confirm on a statement on Monday that clubs voted to return to smaller training groups. So this is a step forward, to resuming this season and that. Like I said, our players were at Carrington on Sunday to get tests for COVID-19. But, we have now got a fully fit squad for when the season, does resume. We've got a fully fit squad. So there you go. Obviously, Pogba's now back. Rashford's back because obviously, Marcus Rashford was out with a back injury. But like I said, Paul Pogba's only played 8 times this season for Man United. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. Last time he played was our 4-1 win against Newcastle, and last time he started from the start was back in September. But it will be good to see Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford back. It really will in that. It really will. And, obviously, before the football season got suspended, Paul Pogba was close to full fitness anyway because he had one-on-one sessions with Michael Carrick. Obviously, before we returned to training at Carrington, I think it was the other week, Paul Pogba was training at the Cheshire Cricket Club with Lindelof, Anthony Martial and Andres Pereira and that. Don't forget, as well, Paul Pogba endured a very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. But, Jose Mourinho's got a bad reputation with top players because he had a lot of bad disputes with our top players in his 2.5 years with us. Don't forget we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era. But, of course, we had to let him go due to limited appearances in that. So, there's still uncertainty over Pogba's future, but Mini Raiola, who's been talking a lot about his client this year, has reportedly opened discussions about, his client moving to Juventus in the summer transfer window and that. And like I said, Paul Pogba has won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at Manchester United. And Paul Pogba is the age of 27. He is the age of 27, is Paul Pogba. So, like I said to there has been a few players on our agenda who could replace Paul Pogba at the football club if he does decide to leave. You obviously know the news on Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Obviously, reports were coming out the other week, saying that, we've agreed a fee of £70 million with Atletico Madrid for Saul Niguez. This is what it said, and it said Saul Niguez to Manchester United is a done deal. Obviously, a lot of Manchester United fans didn't, believe, the stories that were coming out regarding Saul Niguez. Of course, Saul Niguez has got around a £130 million release clause in his Atletico Madrid contract. So he's been one player on our agenda that could replace Pogba. Obviously, earlier on today, I give you the news on Jack Grealish, didn't I? Jack Grealish's move now to Manchester United depends on Paul Pogba's future. So if Paul Pogba leaves, then, we're looking to recommend Jack Grealish in. Jack Grealish is one of our priority targets in that. Obviously, Aston Villa have come out and said, they do want £80 million for Grealish, regardless of whether Aston Villa get relegated or not. You had Alan Hutton coming out yesterday, saying, it'd be impossible for Aston Villa to keep Jack Grealish if Aston Villa do get relegated. And Aston Villa are now sitting in the relegation zone. So in reality, it's looking likely, Aston Villa are going to get relegated in that. But they have said, they do want £80 million to Aston Villa. Jack Grealish, we're hoping to get him for £50 million. Like I said, Jack Grealish up until this point has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. He's been a Villa player, since the age of 6. And, he's been in their senior squad since 2014 as Jack Grealish. And don't forget, he recently purchased a guide dog for around £25,000. But I think Jack Grealish is going to leave Aston Villa. I really do. But, he is one of our priority targets and that. There's obviously, been quite a few other clubs that have been in for him as well. So, yeah, so there's been a few players on our agenda who could replace Paul Pogba at the football club. But, United fans have got different perceptions on Paul Pogba. Some United fans would be happy for him to go, and some United fans, would obviously not want him to stay at the football club and that. So yeah, so that is the latest news on Paul Pogba. But some people have, said that Paul Pogba should also leave to stop the criticism, because Paul Pogba has received quite a lot of criticism, as a Manchester United player, especially this season, because you've had the likes of, Rio Ferdinand. You've had the likes, of Rio Ferdinand, and it's a bit dark, like, isn't it? You've had the likes of Rio Ferdinand and Raheem Souness, that have been persistently criticising him. So there you go. And that. So that is the news on Paul Pogba anyway. Now, I don't know what Manchester United are going to do in the summer transfer window, to be quite honest with you. There's a lot of uncertainty in the summer transfer window because, like I mentioned, a lot of clubs are going to face an unprecedented summer transfer window due to the financial issues with the coronavirus pandemic and that. But, we've got decisions to make in the summer. The decisions are who we're going to sign and what players are Manchester United going to get rid of. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been told in private that it is assured that we will be competitive in the summer transfer market. But, what players can we afford? Because obviously, don't forget Ed Woodward had spoken to our investors yesterday on a conference call, and he did reveal our latest financial figures, and our net debt has risen up to 429.1 million, with the club no longer predicting revenues of up to £580 million. And obviously, Ed Woodward did reveal that the coronavirus pandemic is one of the worst moments, one of the hardest moments in Manchester United's 142nd year history in that. So who are Manchester United going to sign in the summer transfer market and that? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed, he does want to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer, because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings in the summer to become title contenders and that. And I do trust Solskjaer, in the transfer markets and that. Solskjaer did make the admission a couple of weeks ago saying, that we are going to enjoy a different transfer window, to the ones that we've, recently enjoyed and that. Because I've got to make an admission, we have improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. What I mean is I think we've been a bit more sensible with our recruitment, and Solskjaer, has recommended the players, that he wanted to recommend in and that, because so far Solskjaer has recommended 5 players into the football club, and he has spent £220 million on 5 players. And obviously, in the summer transfer window, it will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, and his 2nd summer transfer window and that. But yeah, so be interested to see, who we can recommend in the summer transfer window. Of course, Solskjaer's obviously going to get rid of players as well. I think we're going to get rid of around probably 6 or 7 players in the summer transfer window and that. I've already gone through with you, the players I think that are going to leave Manchester United. But, obviously, Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. I think we have seen a total of 19 players depart the football club since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in. I think there's around 19 players that have left. But obviously, quite a lot of young ones have departed the football club as well. But obviously, before Ed Woodward, revealed our latest financial figures, Ed Woodward came out himself last month, and he did say, we will not do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So basically, he ruled out big transfers to Manchester United, but he did say, we will remain highly competitive in the summer transfer market, because Ed Woodward has confirmed that he is willing to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He said this on numerous occasions this season, and he also has assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe at the football club. So, this is what, he has basically said. But I did say, didn't I, anyway, Solskjaer does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows at Manchester United, and he does deserve at least another season at the football club. You know, he does deserve at least another season. But, you know, don't forget, you know, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked earlier on this season. At that point, there was a lot of talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. There was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. You know, but he was very, very close to getting sacked. I'm not too sure, though, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Man United. You know, United fans have got different perceptions on it. You know, some United fans think he's a foreseeable future and he can get us back to where we want to be. And some United fans think, you know, he isn't the right man and we need to recommend a manager in at the top level, such as a Jurgen Klopp or a Pep Guardiola for prime example and that. But he does deserve at least another season at the club, because it is a transition period, and like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But it has been a transition period for quite some time. You know, the season is supposed to be resuming next month. I've been hearing reports saying like it could be resuming on the 19th of June, could be resuming on the 18th of June. I've heard some reports saying it could even resume earlier than that, and it could resume on the 12th of June. It all depends on the fitness levels. Of course, the first Premier League game back is Tottenham Man United. That's already been confirmed. That's obviously live on Friday night football and that. But I'm just relieved, that the season is going to be resuming, because the season has been, suspended since the 13th of March. So it's been suspended now for a good, is it 9, maybe even 10 weeks. But it is good, to see it back. And we've got things to look forward to, for when the season resumes. We've got the FA Cup to look forward to, because, we're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We've got the Europa League to look forward to, because we're into our last day of the Europa League. And the FA Cup and the Europa League is a chance of us getting some silverware on the board under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we've not yet won any silverware under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. But like I've mentioned on my recent videos, there's decisions that Manchester United have got to make before the season resumes, and that, we've got to make a decision on Odion Ighalo's future. We've also got to make a decision on Paul Pogba's future. We've got to make a decision on Diego Dalot's future, because it recently said that Barcelona and PSG have been interested in him. I think Solskjaer, needs to work out his best 11, because I don't think he knows his best 11. It's going to be interesting to see the 11 that Solskjaer puts out, when we do play Tottenham, when the Premier League does return. So there you go. Maybe Solskjaer should give more of the youngsters chances, because he has given some youngsters their chances this season, such as Mason Greenwood and Brandon Williams and that. But some young players appearances have been limited. Garner, his appearances have been limited. Tahith Chong's appearances have been limited. So yeah, Ethan Laird, Dylan Levitt. Obviously now I think we're going to be loaning James Garner out, like I confirmed with you the other day. Dylan Levitt's going to be loaned out. Maybe Ethan Laird's going to be loaned out as well. So yeah, Angel Gomez, we've got to make a decision on his future as well. I think Man United do want to keep Angel Gomez, but I just don't think he's going to be staying, because, there's been no signs of Angel Gomez, signing a new contract at the football club. And we have put forward quite a few contract offers for Angel Gomez. Don't forget, it has mentioned that Chelsea have been in for Angel Gomez, so too have Arsenal, and so too have Barcelona and that. But Angel Gomez has only made 6 first team appearances this season. That. So these decisions, we've definitely got to make. Maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to work on his best formation, because we have been changing formation persistently this season. We've been going with the 4-2-3-1 a lot. I think we've gone with the 4-3-3 a couple of times. We've also gone with the 3-5-2. Personally speaking, I think we look more expansive, with that 3-5-2 formation. So maybe, Solskjaer should stick with that formation. But there you go. And, don't forget, Solskjaer has revealed the changes he has made at Manchester United since he replaced Jose Mourinho back in December 2018. Like I updated you on my video that I did this morning. Obviously, Solskjaer had revealed that he had a meeting with Jose Mourinho, and had a full-on conversation with Mourinho before our game against Tottenham at Old Trafford last year. We did win that game by 2-1, but Solskjaer did reveal Jose Mourinho's complaint and his Old Trafford return, and he says, he was moaning about the away dressing room and that. So there you go. So there you go and that. But yeah, Man United, like I said, we're going to get rid of Jones in the summer. I think we're going to get rid of Pereira. We're also going to get rid of Jesse Lingard. Diego Dalot could go. Pogba could go. Gomez will go. I think we'll probably loan Alexis Sanchez back out. Smalling and Rojo will probably go on permanent transfers as well. So players are definitely going to leave the football club in the summer transfer window and that. So there you go. You do know the news, by the way, on Jadon Sancho. I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Jadon Sancho on a regular basis. Reports have confirmed today that, Bayern Munich are the latest team to be in for Jadon Sancho. It also confirmed that Borussia Dortmund are willing to wait until the summer transfer market stabilises before selling Jadon Sancho. So Dortmund are willing to wait until transfer fees come back to normal. So Dortmund, have still said, they do want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho. But I think we confirmed the other week that we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. To be fair, though, there has been positivity coming out regarding Jadon Sancho recently. There's been positivity coming out because David Ornstein, who is a very credible journalist, he said, there's a very high chance that Sancho will come to Man United in the summer. But there again, last week, he did say that Borussia Dortmund will not sell Sancho for less than £100 million. I think it mentioned last week we're only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for Jadon Sancho, but neither of them figures are going to be enough to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him in that. So there you go. And that. But the Borussia Dortmund managing director came out not too long ago. I think it was a couple of days ago, and he did say that Dortmund, he expects players' valuations, transfer valuations to drop, due to the coronavirus crisis. But Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. I think we first expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho in 2017. This was before he went to Borussia Dortmund, but we're not the only club that have been in for him. You've obviously had Chelsea in for him, you've had Liverpool in for him, Real Madrid have been in for him. Like I mentioned, Bayern Munich are the latest team to be in for him. David Ornstein also revealed that the teams that have been in for him have been in contact with Jadon Sancho's representatives, but I think Jadon Sancho did reveal that if he was to leave Borussia Dortmund, his preferred option would be a move to Manchester United. And, I have outlined the couple of reasons, why I take Sancho at Man United, because he dramatically improves us. He's well proven in the Premier League. Plus, he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. And Rashford revealed earlier on this season that he wants Sancho at Manchester United and that. And I think it just complement our attacking line. Borussia Dortmund is the third club in Jadon Sancho's playing career. Obviously, before he was at Dortmund, he was at Man City. Enjoyed a couple of years at Man City, but never got any first-team opportunities at Man City, and that's the main explanation why I left City to join Dortmund. And before he was at City, he was at Watford. He began his footballing career with Watford, and he was at Watford for several years in that. So there you go. And Dortmund, only paid £8 million in from Man City. So, Dortmund are looking to make like a £92 million profit, obviously on the play, but reflect on his good performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund. His valuation has persistently grown. Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Don't forget, we've already confirmed that we are willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7, because we have got number 7 vacant at the moment and that. But we've been working with his agent we've been working on his contract for quite some time. And we've also been in negotiations with his agent for quite some time, like Fabrizio Romano did confirming that. And Jadon Sancho is predominantly a right winger. And don't forget, Man United are in search for a right winger, and he is only at the age of 20 in that. So there you go. And obviously, like I said, we're chasing top 4. And, if we can get qualification for the Champions League anyway, then we've got more chance of attracting players to the elite level. Because if we get qualification for the Champions League, we'll generate money there. and obviously us getting rid of players, you know, we're going to generate money there as well and that. But obviously, you know, reflecting on the latest financial figures, maybe it's now put Jadon Sancho's move to Manchester United in doubt. But, you know, Dortmund have delayed his departure anyway. That's been confirmed. That actual story was stemming from the Telegraph recently in that. Obviously, you know the news on Jude Bellingham. I've been keeping you up to date of what's been going on with Jude Bellingham. He's obviously, you know, one of our priority targets as well as Jude Bellingham. The last time I read about Jude Bellingham, you know, it did say we are close to signing Jude Bellingham. He's expected to cost us around £30 million, is Jude Bellingham. Don't forget, you know, we also want to get his brother as part of the deal. His brother is called Joe Bellingham, and he's only the age of 15, but Jude Bellingham is only the age of 16 himself. Don't forget, you know, we have made a promise to Jude Bellingham that, you know, we are willing to give him a senior role, you know, if we do sign him this summer. Don't forget, a couple of months ago, he did say that Borussia Dortmund were emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. This is what it confirmed. And don't forget, you know, Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground back in March. Obviously, you know, he held talks with Sir Alex Ferguson. Ed Woodward also had some negotiations with his parents and that. So there you go. This has been Jude Bellingham's first season in the senior squad with Birmingham, but got to make an admission, you know, he has been a revelation in the Championship. You know, he became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham because he made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. I think he's played persistently this season for Birmingham. I think he's played around 35, is it 30 odd games, is it? In all competitions, if I'm right, something like that. But he has played a lot of games. Jude Bellingham's expected to sign his professional contract when he does turn 17. I think he turns 17 next month. Because Jude Bellingham, you know, is only on like £145 a week at the moment in that. Don't forget, you know, there's also two young incoming players. There's also two young upcoming players that are incoming as well, and that's Mark Jawado and Joe Hugo. So they're also incoming as well in that. On the previous video, which I think is still uploading, I give you the news on Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. Obviously, you know, we are seeing him as an alternative to Jadon Sancho. So if we miss out on Jadon Sancho, we're looking, you know, at getting Rabbi. We're looking at getting Rabbi Matondo from Schalke and that. And to be fair, you know, Rabbi Matondo would be a cheaper solution than Sancho. Because like I updated you earlier on, you know, it's confirmed that Rabbi Matondo is available for £54 million in the summer transfer window. Because that's his release clause in his Schalke contract. Yeah, that's his release clause. So it's €60 million his release clause, but it equates to around 54 million in pound sterling. I think it also mentioned that Liverpool have been in for Rabbi Matondo as well. You know, this has been Rabbi Matondo's first season with Schalke. Obviously, you know, Schalke paid, was it 11.5 million for him from Man City last summer and that. I think he was at City for a couple of years, wasn't he? As far as I heard, you know, he didn't really play for Manchester City. Before he was at City, he was at Cardiff. You know, began his footballing career with Cardiff. He's born in Liverpool but moved to Wales when he was young. I think he's actually, you know, got a contract with Schalke until 2023 and that. And he's obviously, you know, predominantly a winner. So he's a cheaper solution than Jadon Sancho, is Rabbi Matondo. So, you know, would you take him at the football club? And like I've said to you, know, there's been a lot of strikers on our agenda as well. A hell of a lot of strikers on our agenda. You know, Moussa Dembele has been on our agenda. I give you the news on Erling Haaland this morning. Very, very sceptical that Man United are going to sign Erling Haaland in the summer. You know, because obviously, you know, it'll cost us a lot of money to get him in the summer. Same thing with Real Madrid. I don't think Erling Haaland's release clause becomes active until the summer of 2022. So that's when it becomes active, and I think Erling Haaland's release clause is around £63 million. But he said the other last week, was it that, or early on this week, that Real Madrid are planning to sign Haaland in 2021. They're also planning to sign Mbappe in 2021. But like I mentioned, it was a shame that we didn't get Erling Haaland in the January transfer window because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. And don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's obviously worked with Erling Haaland. You know the news on Werner, giving the news on him earlier on this week. David Einstein's also been talking about Timo Werner. Harry Kane is fully out of the equation. We're not going to get Harry Kane because we won't pay the £200 million that Tottenham want for him. So there you go and that. So there has been so many players on our agenda in that. And don't forget, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer and that. I think a lot of people do like Solskjaer's transfer strategy, including Ryan Giggs and that. So there you go. Like I said, Solskjaer, is our fourth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. And, we have sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. And that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho and that. So we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. But in the last 6 or 7 years, we have been playing catch-up. We have spent close to the £1 billion range on, recruiting players in. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era and that. Not only that, I think we've also got the highest wage bill in the Premier League. But yeah, so like I mentioned, give Solskjaer more time. By the way, we've got to sort out, players' contracts. Because obviously there's around 8 or 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. That's something we do need to resolve. But to be fair, a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer came in. So there you go on that. There you go. And like I said, hopefully we can keep this good run of form up, when the season does resume. Because before the football season got suspended, we was in a good vein of form. Because don't forget, we are unbeaten in our last 11, or is it our last 12 games in all competitions and that. So there you go. So that's everything to update today, guys. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.